Hello everyone, welcome to Phreak's Shop of Horrors, GG. Alright, anyway, what's up? This is an audio commentary, as you can tell, and it's gonna involve Night Elf this time, and it's a bit of a short game, but it's still pretty cool. We've got the returning champion, Netwall 5e, insert player name here, versus the Night Elf player known as DT. And somewhat by request and also by luck, we've got some Blade Master usage. So 15-second mark at 1x speed, and I'm going to give some announcements and whatnot, because I can. Now, Turtle Rock is probably one of the worst orc maps, at least especially against Night Elf. It's good against human, but it's pitiful against elf. It's good against human because you can get the Naga Sea Witch, which supports your land forces, and you get the Wand of Lightning Shield easily, if you get lucky. So you should know from the previous commentary that, Farseer, Naga, and Grunt Harassment pretty much owns, as you kind of saw by human fans getting noobed like crazy. However, it's bad for Orc against Night Elf because there's no kind of mercs that you can get to dispel, and there's a rampant Beastmaster Naga abuse, and there's pretty easy expansions. Overall, it's a pretty good elf map. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and start the game off, and it's Blade Master stuff, so let's go ahead and unpause it. So 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, go. More ironclad for you guys. That's what he does a lot anyway. Alright, so we're getting the standard build order. Sorry. That too. Okay, so altar burrow and then a barracks. So you will see that it's not the sort of standard tech build lameness. Now right here, what he could do is to select all his peons, hockey them to the group 3 is something that I do, and tell him to return gold like a lot. However, instead he chooses to build a barracks because he's a noob. Oh my god. Now he builds it not quite off of the next peon, but just, a little bit off, just because it'll take some time to actually start up that next burrow. So it just kind of makes the grunt production work out a little bit better, sort of in that manner. So we're going to see the Blade Master being built soon, the barracks also being built, and a peon comes out to scout, because scouting is Gosu, noob. Alright, but seriously, it's because you're starting with a Blade Master, and Blade Masters obviously cannot summon Spirit Wolves. And normally, Spirit Wolves will scout and find out where your opponent is. And so by having the Blade Master, you need to be able to scout. So anytime you're facing an Orc, and he scouts you with a peon, or she, whatever, they're not going Farseer, because anyone who actually starts Farseer, there's no reason to actually scout, because Wolves do that just fine. You don't lose the wood production by using peons. And look at this peon getting owned by creeps, because he's a noob. That's what sucks about this map, that when you can actually see their base, when you can actually see if there's creeps or units, or a player there, it's already too late, you're getting hit. So he ran out just in time and saved his behind right there. So you see the Blade Master coming out. By the way, this is Fog of War on. I'm going to try to talk a little bit slower so I don't stutter so much. We will see. Okay, so you see he is at 17 food without the grunt. Now the reason is that he's playing against a Night Elf, and he's got a Blade Master, and you're going to see that this plays out to his tactic. I'm not going to ruin it for you, but you'll see. So you see this Wisp right here, and Detonate, GG noob, and so he's already lost some mana. And guess what? Here's another Wisp. And so he runs away for a little bit, uses Windwalk, sees the Demon Hunter nearby, and says, I'm going to kill some Wisps, or at least make him detonate them. So he's chasing that Wisp down, and he's going to hit it with his big Sword of Doom, and then lose sight. Oh, there it is, and detonate. So you can see that Detonate can ruin a Blade Master pretty quickly. However, that is 120 gold down the drain for Night Elf. But then again, there's no mana left for the Blade Master, so that's sort of 70 gold plus on the Clarities. But here comes the Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter versus Blade Master is, not something he wants to fight right now. He has the higher damage output. But, he's running away because he has less hit points. Because he's a noob, or something along those lines. And he's just running away. However, he says, hey, guess what? I have a grunt noob. And he's sending the grunt over, and now he's looping around the tavern and coming to do some more damage. So you can loop around the tavern because it's an obstruction, and it just kind of works if you understand sort of that kind of thing. Like, you only got hit once, whereas if you get turned around sort of in the middle of the map, not around the tavern, he probably could have gotten hit a few more times. He's just trying to maximize his hit points. Then you notice Night Elf can play a ring around the tree and own some grunts that way. You know, say a mana burn, of course, sucks. Because Blade Master has very low mana. Even when they are high level, they still don't have very much mana. Especially against Night Elf with a... with a DH first, because his mana burn levels up. Less Windwalk, less Blade Storm, etc. It just kind of sucks. He's trying to knock out a Wisp and actually gets one. So you can see that, well, Night Elf's kind of screwed because he went for Huntresses, and so he still doesn't have any actual units yet. There goes the Detonate, kills some mana, no EXP. That's why Elves detonate. Now, the real reason that Orc harasses, or anyone really harasses Night Elf, the Wisp, so hard, is to really force detonates. I mean, not saying, yeah, he detonated as opposed to getting killed, but it's 60 gold down the drain for each one. If you get lucky, you get some EXP, then all the better. But that's the main goal, is to really try to get him to knock out all his Wisps, because then he'll have less gold, because he'll have to replace them, and he'll have less wood for obvious reasons. So by having to replace the Wisps, the Night Elf player does not have as much money. He couldn't have teched or built his second Ancient of War as quickly, and he's generally really slowing down his opponent. As you can see, he's doing really well so far. So he's like, okay, great, I'm in good shape. And so he's building the Barrow to get up to 40 food so he can make more units. He's got the Grunt making sure it doesn't die. You see in the bottom right corner. And he says, okay, well, that was a pretty good little run, but since my Blade Master's running out of hit points, let's go and hit some creeps. Also, as the Huntresses came out, they could do better and better at stopping harassment. So you can see one of the Grunts taking the damage because the Blade Master's low as it is. He's taking some little Thorns damage right there. And he's going up to his shop to heal, because that's a smart thing to do. Heal your units. Who would have thought? Alright, so he gives himself +3 agility, which is always nice. Picks up quite a lot of salves, and salves everything. Because you know what? Even though they might have had, 600 of 8, like 500 of 700 hit points, it's still worth it. So if healing will at least heal half, it's worth it. So, if you have a 200 hit points from max Grunt, go ahead and salve it. Now you notice right here, he realizes that, I've got a pretty good unit mix. I feel like I'm in pretty good shape, and I'm going to go and tower him, because I think I can do it. And so as you can see, he's building the War Mill, and this is what the extra peons did for him. He realized that he had enough, he got himself enough wood to be able to do that kind of fun stuff, to be able to actually support the towers, and so that's what he's doing. So his 4 peons are kind of tagging along from behind. He's not spending any more money. He just picks up the Naga on the way, because it's the quickest way to actually get a second hero, is to use the Tavern hero. And also what he did early game is he tested out his opponent's micro, because then he noticed, well, he didn't do very well, as he saw, because he didn't, he managed to lose quite a lot of Wisps. Of course, it's kind of hard to save a lot of Wisps from the Blade Master, but you can always do something better. There's always something you should be able to do. So, as you can see, he's doing quite well in injuring these Huntresses, knocking them down, burning some Moon Juice. However, the DH from behind is going to be his Naga's worst nightmare. So that's why he's running the Naga away, and then he suddenly turns around and starts focusing the DH. Uses the Windwalk just to be able to deal a little bit more damage, try to knock him out. And as his money just keeps pouring in, he keeps making more and more towers. As the Naga Sea Witch has to run back and forth all the time. So really, he says, I've got a pretty good advantage right here on this guy. I can Frost Arrow, I can do some pretty good focus fire. Of course, the Grunts aren't the most high damage units in the game, but since they're durable, it'll take a while for Hunters to actually get rid of them. And the durability is really what you need as these towers come up, because they'll take a full minute. And so by being able to buy some time with durable units, this is something that Footmen and Archers can't do, because, Archers, if you're towering with some Archers, it's really easy to just kill the Archers and be done with it. Whereas if you've got to sort of defend, but if you've got like Grunts kind of thing, it's going to take a long time for them to actually die, so you're in pretty good shape in general when that's going down. So you can see that the heroes are in bad shape, the Ancient War has to run away, and he realized that he's in very good shape and just towers, because he knows that he has, good units, almost kills the DH right there, and he just realized that he had an advantage, because he had delayed the Huntresses by so much, delaying that second Ancient of War, that he's able to put the towers in. I know I'm kind of stressing that point too much. There's not a whole lot to say for Orc towering, really. But it's sort of more of an adaptation choice than I'm going to tower because I'm Orc versus Night Elf kind of decision. It's a decision where you realize that you're in good shape, that you did well early game, and then you figure, I can do this now. It's when you realize that you have an advantage. It's just like a commentary I did before. Human versus Night Elf. When I saw that he was doing a bear build, I realized, it wasn't my original plan to a tower, but he doesn't have any units, let's go. Just like when I had towered Cygnus in game 1, I realized, he's got some late Ancient of Wars. I'm going to bring in Militia. I'm going to do my best to actually just, kill those AOWs. I realized he still didn't have any units. I was like, okay, I'm building the Lumber Mill fast. I'm going to start towering, because there's no way he can stop it with just a DH. And this is kind of what happened here, is that he realized, okay, well, I'm just going to, open up with some Blade Master harassment. Blade Master's not exactly the best towering hero just because there's no support spells. He's just sort of a damage hero, and if he runs out of hit points, well, too bad. You can't do anything else. He can't stay back. He's a melee hero, He doesn't exactly heal very quickly. So it was he just realized, what? I forced 2 detonates right away, which is always bad for Night Elf, having to detonate 2 instantly as soon as the hero comes out. And then as soon as he actually started fighting, he realized, well, what? The DH is not much of an anti-Blade Master hero. He can kill his mana, so what? Blade Master still is a bit of a hero with mana, or without mana. TC, not much of a hero without mana. The Farseer, not much of a hero without mana. The Shadow Hunter, not much of a hero without mana. Priest of the Moon is a great hero, without mana, because she's still got True Shot Aura, and so I realized that the DH is going to be a bad choice because he can't really touch grunts at low level. He's about equal to a grunt when he's at level 1, as long as the grunt has like Berserker Strength or something. And so he realized, the Orc player realized that the Night Elf did not have any kind of a good hero. He delayed the units so much that, what? All I have to do is pull out a Naga, and I'll guarantee you I can do this. And so he built the War Mill. He got lucky kind of, I guess, building the extra PNs. I don't think it was actually his plan to tower right away, because he sort of quickly added in the War Mill and said, okay, let's go. I think it was more of an executive decision, just realizing that he had an edge. But just seeing his opponent's micro, seeing that he did really well early, and the advantage that comes from the early game, said, you know what? I can tower because I'm in good shape. Random note of information is that Thorns is not affected by armor, but is affected by armor type, which means heroes affected by the magical armor type thing, so they will take 70% damage from the Thorns Retribution. For some reason, someone said it was 70% times 70%, because somehow it went both ways. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but it is not affected by armor number. You could have a 999,000 armor anything, and Thorns will deal full damage both ways. Whoever attacks who. However, Vamp is affected by armor, so if you have some crazy Vamp ghouls or Vamp Kargs, whatever, you upgrade the armor and they'll start healing less. And so you add in crazy armor and Thorns against Vamp, and they'll damage themselves more than they Vamp. Let's see. Brilliant Sword does not stack. Here's how the evasion things stack. They don't at all. Getting 2 Talisman Evasion doesn't work. Getting Talisman Evasion plus Evasion doesn't work. There have been a lot of fallacies that people have tossed around. Trust me, they don't. People have ran tests. I've seen the map, seen the replay, etc. If they say that they do not stack, they really don't. Don't try. So that's just FYI information. They don't just, cut it. They don't stack. All right. This will be Phreak signing out. Random information for you, etc. Goodbye.